Hello there. It's another busy day here at WHVL. We take a closer look at the transportation needs of the Center region, help mom and dad out with a few things to do with the kids this summer, and Mel cooks up a great summer kabob on the latest kitchen encounters. These stories and more only on the Center of It All. Welcome to the Center of It All. I'm your host, Alex Rabb. We have a jam-packed show in store for you today, so let's get to it. We stopped by the Huntington County Chamber of Commerce to get the scoop on some pressing issues dealing with transportation for the Center region.
The Huntington County Chamber of Commerce held a panel discussion regarding the PA Senate's passage of a recent comprehensive transportation funding bill. And while the bill is good for the state as a whole, for central Pennsylvania, the news is there's not a lot of funding on the way for roads and bridges. The Senate passed the bill by a 45-5 margin on June 5th, and according to PennDOT Deputy Secretary Jim Ritzman, there will be little investment in new routes or expanding existing ones.
Perfectly blunt again, I think we've been constrained so much that the resources that we've used to date are just solely focused on taking care of what we have. Historically, we've had new capacity expenditures at about 25% of our budget. That's dropped down to like less than 3%. So we're not really in that mode. Certainly with additional resources, the first things we'll want to do is take care of existing infrastructure. Secondarily, work on improvements with intersections, things like that. And then obviously look at where are those needs that we just haven't, quite frankly, been able to get to recently.
That notion doesn't exactly sit well with Amy Wise, Executive Director of Huntington County Business and Industry Incorporated.
Four-lane highway would definitely open up some economic opportunities for us that aren't currently available to us, and it's infuriating to hear that it's not a priority. I understand that maintenance of what we have is important, but capacity add to our rural areas is just as important.
Wise vows to fight on to get the transportation needed to spur economic development in Huntington County.
There's going to definitely be some impact. It's a matter of will it happen now or will it happen down the road. We are not giving up the fight for any of the roadways that we want to see developed, for the rail system. Rail freight is one of our easiest, lowest hanging fruit that we're going after, and hopefully we are able to develop some of those spurs that will draw in business who can ship their product in and their raw materials in via rail, which will alleviate that need for the road right away.
PA Senate Bill 1 won't mean a lot of improvements to the roads and bridges in the area. What does it mean? Senator John Eichelberger has the answer.
Well, it's going to mean some higher taxes, and that's what I hear about most when I hear from people that say that they're negative about the bill, and that's true. We have a bill that was done in the 80s. There was a cap put on it. Nobody ever thought gasoline would go above $1.25. Well, here we are, $3.50, $4 a gallon. Our costs have risen tremendously, and our revenues actually are decreased because we have cars that are getting higher mileage. In many respects, we have people with unemployment figures being what they are. We have less traffic on the road in some cases. So we have a lot less revenue and a lot higher costs in correcting the problems with our roads and bridges. So we're in a situation that we can't get out of.
The $2.5 billion proposal has been well received and will cost taxpayers on average $2.50 per week. And Wise believes it's a small price to pay.
As you heard today, the cost of doing nothing is phenomenal, and the cost of doing something is moderate. And I just can't stress enough that if we don't do something, we will never see anything happen in Huntington County. When we've got a bill this big coming down, and it's not going to be a windfall for the county. Can you imagine what we look like in the current scenario, where there's no money to do anything? We're being left behind.
Buckle up, Central Pennsylvania. It could be a rough ride for the next couple of years. For the Center of It All, I'm John Stroh.
Thanks, John. Well, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we head over to a battlefield in our backyard that was a defining moment in our nation's history. Hello, and thanks for joining the Center of It All. This year marks the 150th anniversary of the turning point of the Civil War. Andrew Callista visited Gettysburg National Park to get a closer look at how their park service is commemorating one of the most defining moments in American history.
As America readies itself for a birthday celebration, it's important to look back on the events that define our great nation. And that's exactly what they're doing at Gettysburg as they prepare for the 150th commemoration of a battle that preserved the Union. The special events begin June 29th, and while the history of Gettysburg hasn't changed, Park Ranger Angela Atkinson told me the park has new experiences ready for the commemoration.
The commemorative opportunities here with the Park Service July 1st through 4th provide a host of opportunities for the visitors to get out on the field during that day's particular action and learn about what happened. So for example, on July 1st, we will offer 30-minute programs, just key moments of the battle, for someone wanting to get a snapshot of what happened. Someone interested in a longer experience might consider an overview hike, a 60 to 90-minute walk over a part of the battlefield related to that particular day. And then for our repeat visitors, the Civil War aficionados, the historians, we are offering battlefield experience programs. These experience programs are going to be unique, one-of-a-kind programs on the field.
You could also visit the Wills House, where Lincoln finalized his Gettysburg Address, and the Spangler Farm, which treated over 1,800 men during and after the battle. For Atkinson and the Rangers, it's all about keeping history alive.
When we talk to them and we start engaging the public and we hear about their interest, and then they start listening to the stories and the accounts that we tell, many times you can see a light bulb go off. And for many of them, it was simply a family vacation, it was a destination. But at some point, something clicks and they develop a passion for Gettysburg. And so many people who come here have that passion, and then they want to learn more, and then they want to read more, and we can provide them the books and the articles and the journals. And when that passion starts to develop, that's really when I get excited. I can see them want to come back and want to preserve this place and want to see it stay and remain for the future generations.
The battle being fought at Gettysburg today is not over ideals. It's over the preservation of history that defines every one of us.
I think a lot of visitors and people who come to Gettysburg feel a sense of awe. The fact that the park encompasses 6,000 acres of prime battlefield land is so moving when you can see the fields, when you can look across to Pickett's Charge, when you can see the area that the Maine and Alabama troops struggled over on Little Round Top. I think it does bring in a sense of reality that this did happen, that men fought and died here.
Gettysburg changed America's direction, and really the direction of the world. It's only fitting that we pause and remember what took place.
These fields are hallowed ground, that there were 51,000 casualties, over 7,000 dead outright, many more that would unfortunately succumb to their injuries. It can be very powerful, and I think if one stops, takes a moment, and really thinks about the events here, it can be pretty sobering. And these are hallowed fields. And as we ride our cars and take our tours over them, it is, the monuments act as good reminders of that. They're placed here by the veterans for us 150 years later to remember and honor what these men did here.
When Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address, he demanded that the men who fought here would never be forgotten. 150 years later, that request is still being honored. For the center of it all, I'm Andrew Callista.
Thank you, Andrew. Be sure to head out to Gettysburg through July 7th to be a part of the commemoration. It's a great place to learn about the struggle that held the country together. Stick around. When we return, we head over to the Preshutti residence for a new Kitchen Encounters. Hello and welcome back to the center of it all. I'm Alex Rabb. Shish kebabs are a token meal of the warmer months. On today's Kitchen Encounters, Mel Preshutti creates a delicious shrimp and scallop skewer dish over lemon peppered rice. Mmm.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, steak, ribs. Nothing screams summer like kebabs. After all, who doesn't just love a meal on a stick? Today, I'm going to show you how to make my Asian-style open sesame shrimp and scallop kebabs, and I'm serving them with my broccoli and jasmine rice patties. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is marinate our seafood. And in this 1-gallon Ziploc bag, I'm placing a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of sesame oil, and a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice. Next, in my little handy-dandy mini chopper, I'm going to mince 3 ounces of fresh ginger and 4 garlic cloves. These little choppers are a great investment. They really make short work of mincing things like ginger and garlic. Add all of our minced garlic and ginger to this bag, and this smells wonderful. And now for our seafood. I've got about 1.5 pounds of 16 to 20 count jumbo shrimp with the tails left on. Add those to our bag. And about 1 pound of large sea scallops. The big ones, folks. I'm going to zip this bag closed. Make sure it's closed. And I'm just going to toss all of this together really good. And I'm going to set this bag aside for about 30 to 45 minutes to let the seafood marinate, but no longer than an hour, because the acidity in the lime juice will start to cook your shrimp and it will make them rubbery. While our seafood is marinating, we're going to mix together our broccoli and rice patties. I'm using 4 cups of steamed jasmine rice today and 4 cups of steamed broccoli. But if you don't have jasmine rice, this is a perfect use for that extra box of Chinese rice the last time you ordered takeout. I'm going to toss these two together in a really big bowl. And I like to toss them like a salad, because that gets all the broccoli incorporated in the rice. And I pull it apart because rice tends to want to clump together. And when it's pretty thoroughly mixed, I'm going to toss in 1/2 cup of thinly sliced green onions, or scallions as I like to call them, and 6 tablespoons of minced fresh cilantro. They smell wonderful too. And when all of these are thoroughly combined, and again, just keep breaking up those pockets of white rice every time you find a nice big one. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to whisk together 4 extra large eggs or 5 large eggs. To that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and a tablespoon of fish sauce. Don't wrinkle your nose. Fish sauce is the salt of Thailand, and it adds wonderful flavor to everything it's used in. And now we've got a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, not salt. Sugar is going to bring up the flavor of the salty fish sauce. Whisk this together. And next and last, 5 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to slow this down a little. And whisk until we have a nice thin, drizzly batter. And this could take a minute or 2. Okay, just about done. Okay, we're drizzling there. There's some little pieces of flour in there, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. They're all going to break up when this gets mixed together. We're going to add our binder, which is our egg flour mixture, to our vegetable mixture, and we're going to toss these around until everything is evenly coated. And it's important that you get this evenly coated and give this the time it takes to get it all thoroughly combined. And as soon as I'm finished combining this, I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap, and I'm going to let it sit for 30 to 45 minutes for the rice to absorb all of the egg mixture so that they don't fall apart when I fry them in the skillet. I'm going to be alternating my shrimp and scallops on these double skewers. The trick to skewering shrimp is to place the prongs, the first part, where the meat meets the tail, and at a second point through the thickest part of the body of the shrimp. And I'm going to put 2 shrimp, followed by 1 nice big scallop, 2 more shrimp, followed by 1 last scallop. So everybody's going to get 6 really beautiful pieces of seafood with their dinner tonight. And I'm spreading them out evenly so that they're not overcrowded. And last, I'm going to sprinkle the tops with sesame seeds. And we're going to pop these in the broiler for about 3 to 3.5 minutes per side. I've heated 4 tablespoons of peanut oil with 2 tablespoons of sesame oil in a 12-inch skillet. I used a 2.5-inch ice cream scoop to portion and place 6 of these patties into the skillet. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, just imagine 3 to 4 tablespoons. I'm going to cook these on medium heat for 3 to 3.5 minutes per side. Not hot, not hotter than medium, not less than medium, because I just want these lightly golden brown on the outside and moist and tender on the inside. Cooking food on a stick has been around, well, probably since the first day fire was invented. Kababa is the ancient Arabic word meaning to burn or to char, and kebabs were invented by medieval Persian soldiers who used their swords to cook their food over their open fires. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
Remember, if you make any of Mel's dishes, post a picture on her Facebook or Twitter and let us know how it turned out. We have to take another break, but we'll be right back. Welcome back to the center of it all. Summer vacation has literally just begun. I found a few things going on in the area that can keep your kids occupied. School's out and the kids are home. I figure after a few weeks, trying to keep them out of your hair can be a challenge. So I found a few activities and places around the community that can keep your children occupied, safe, and entertained. Let's start with one of my favorites from my childhood, summer fun at the public library.
Public libraries traditionally do summer reading programs, and the intent of summer reading programs are to get kids involved in books and not experience summer slide, going back to school being less of a reader than when they start. So public libraries do amazing things to get kids involved in books in the summer.
Anita Dietz, the head of Children's Services at SCLO Library, has every right to speak with enthusiasm. The Read It, Watch It summer reading program at SCLO Library registered over 2,000 kids in 2012. Their goal is to keep that number growing each year. The library works with the State Theater and Downtown State College. The kids read the book, then watch it Wednesdays at noon for free on the big screen.
It's a great opportunity because my premise for everyone I talked to this year was if you're part of the library, if you are reading books and part of a summer reading program, there is no reason to be bored during the summer. And I actually told the kids that I do this program for them and I do it for their mothers because 2 days after school is out, she starts hearing I'm bored and she hears it all summer long.
The library is geared towards getting kids engaged and excited about the joy and fun of reading during the summer. So what do the kids think of it?
I like how you can see it and see if it's different from how the book is.
So are you looking forward to seeing all these movies that you're going to read?
Yeah.
And there's a stamp of approval from Mom, too.
I think it's great that kids are encouraged to read books and then as a reward to be able to come and watch a movie. Yeah, an hour and a half is perfect for relaxation in the afternoon.
And what's nice about living in an area like the Center County region? Where do I begin? There are so many options inside and out. Your kids shouldn't get a chance to be bored this summer. The events will be listed on WHVL.com if you want to take another look. The birth of our great nation is right around the corner. And WHVL is your place to watch all the action. The show starts at 8 o'clock with the fireworks following shortly after. John Stroh's here to tell us what's new this year.
The highlight of summer for many in the region is Central PA Fourth Fest. And this year definitely won't disappoint with an Independence Day celebration fit for the greatest nation on earth. The day begins with a bang as the Firecracker 4K takes to the streets of State College. Once you've had a chance to catch your breath and get something to drink, you'll then be ready to hit the town square to see some of the area's best musicians. If music isn't your thing, no problem. You can always check out America's Guide Heroes Parade at 2 p.m. in the downtown or some of the many great shows, highlighted this year by a professional lumberjack competition. And what would a July 4th celebration be without some great food? From 4 to 8 p.m. you can get a free hot dog and chips at the town square and follow it up with a piece of giant 14-foot birthday cake. At 9:15, the coup de grace, as the skies light up with one of America's best fireworks display with over 10,000 shells. If you can't make it out to watch the fireworks in person, then WHVL has you covered with our live telecast from 8 to 10 p.m., hosted by Steve Jones and Alex Rapp. For the center of it all, I'm John Stroh.
Thanks, John. It's great to have something to look forward to. And who doesn't love the big booms in the sky? Well, that's that. I hope you enjoyed the show. Before you leave, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a great day.